We have a pretty short chapter this week in terms of content and objects and things that happened. But that's okay because I didn't have a lot of time to sit down and read this week's chapter because I was once again in the wonderful city of Peoria, Illinois, fighting for my life in the One Piece regionals as usual. So that was pretty fun. I like doing that. Me and my friends, we all have a great time. It's a lot of fun, and I recommend if you are a fan of One Piece to at least try the One Piece card game. If nothing else, I originally went into this game as a collector, just someone who wanted like one of every card because I think it would be really cool to have. Just the artwork's really nice on the cards and such. But the game itself is actually pretty fun, and I went from going to locals to now going to regionals and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's not what you're here for. You're here for the manga, not the card game. Hello, Internet. I am the hero of Julios, once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1146, Motion in Stillness. The artwork for this week is a continuation of Yamato's journey, and just as I predicted, Ulti has pledged her allegiance. She says, thank you so much. I'll never I'll never forget what you've done for us. But if you'll please allow me, I will basically use my life to repay this debt. So I think Ulti, and unfortunately for him by extension page 1, will become the first of Yamato's vassals, akin to Odin's, and thus solidifying Yamato's dream of becoming just like Odin. As for the actual chapter itself, we're starting off pretty heavy with a real face-off. Gunko versus some of the Straw Hat crew. And, I mean, I don't want to downplay this, but Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji aren't there to keep the crew safe. Now, they do have some heavy hitters. They got Jinbei and they got Usopp with them, which, I'm sorry, I'm a person who's going to argue that Usopp is probably one of the stronger members of the crew in terms of versatility against enemies and probably weakness scouting. I don't know how else to word that. But if you think about every fight Usopp's been in, the tipping point is usually him figuring out the enemy's weakness. Unlike, say, Zoro, Sanji, Robin, Luffy's, Frankie's fights, where it's usually, I'm just going to hit you with a really big new attack, Usopp's fights usually end in, okay, now that I've seen everything you can do, I know how to beat it. In fact, one of my favorite examples is in film Gold. I know that's not canon, but it's a good showing of Usopp, where he's like, wait a second, I know how to beat the Luck Lady, and he leaves. Only to come back with a giant slot machine to guarantee that she uses up all her luck on a 1 in a billion shot. So, yeah, pretty cool. But anyways, Gunko stands before them with young Colin, and they're like, oh, so you're one of the human intruders that have come to the island. And they're all, kind of preparing themselves. And Gunko is offended by this. She's like, really? You dare to call me human? She starts summoning one of her arrows, and it sort of slithers past the crew and lines up pointing at Usopp. And he's trying his hardest to move it away from him because he's like, well, what is this thing? But as we learned earlier, Gunko's arrows are inevitable. Only she can change them. And she proceeds to tell the crew and Colin exactly what the plan of the Celestial Dragons is here. We're going to kidnap the children. I don't really plan on doing much with them. They're just a bargaining chip. And they're like, oh, so they're hostages. And she's like, no. For it to be a hostage, it would have to be something of value. And I don't really see you guys as anything other than insects. So hostage isn't really a good word for it to me. But anyways, you guys are fighting the inevitable. You see a war is coming. One that is going to engulf the world, which is crazy in itself. Even they say that's insane. How could you get the entire world in on it? And she's like, that's not an important detail. It is the will of the gods. It is the will of gods like me, because I am above you. And they're like, oh, so you're like a celestial dragon. And she's like, yeah. And Usopp's like, but celestial dragons are ugly and stupid and really, really bad at fighting. You are not anything like that. And interestingly enough, Brook is the one that brings up the God's Knights. He's like, oh, you must be the Holy Knights of Maryjois. And she's like, yeah, the same. And she kind of tugs her hat and looks away. And I'm interested because, she didn't fangirl over Brooke like I predicted, but I know she knows his music. I know she knows who he is. But she tells them that this war that's going to come, whoever's side the giants are on, either willingly or by force, is going to have a major advantage here. And that's why we're going to do this, even if we have to make the kids walk to Maryjois ourselves. Nami doesn't like the idea of children being kidnapped, so she takes Zeus and she turns him into Lightning Shark Tempo. So, as a thundercloud, Zeus can change his shape. So, he comes at Gunko, and Gunko turns him around and sends him back at Nami with her arrows. So, Brooke and Jinbei try to stop her, both with a good punch and a solid stab, and she makes them hit each other. Finally, she manages to bob and weave with her arrow, kneeing Usopp in the face. This is not good for the crew, but we did get to learn something during this. While Gunko was monologuing and sort of showcasing her abilities, we see it is not just the elders who have regeneration. Usopp actually blows her up with a skull bomb blast. I don't know if she just chose to take the hit to terrify them, or if Usopp's attack was just so out of the blue she didn't see it coming, but he blows her up, which teaches me that the skull bomb grass is actually a lethal attack. If we really think about it, he's only used it on, Treble, and I think, what's the fish man's name? The little biting guy. Daruma. He's only used it on people who have superhuman durability, but Gunko is just a normal human. Well, a relative term when you get to the God's Knights. As we see, she has the same regeneration that the 5 elders do. Now, I, don't know where everybody stands on this theory, but I think this kind of solidifies that the 5 elders' powers don't come from devil fruits. Because if they came from devil fruits, Oda would have given us their devil fruit names. Gunko, we have her devil fruit name. We have Sommer's devil fruit. We have the dog Cerberus Sword's devil fruit. We have Killingham's devil fruit. And all of these characters have the teleportation. I can assume the others have the regeneration. I can assume they all have the mark of the celestial dragon somewhere on their body, like Sommer's did. But Oda announced their devil fruits, separate from these regenerative abilities. I don't think that means we're going to find people who ate the, Itsumade devil fruit, but I think the 5 elders are much more terrifying than a common devil fruit eater. So as Gunko is delivering this beatdown on the street down, we cut to the school, where it's just as bad as it is over with Gunko. Killingham has easily taken out Principal Walrus, and Ange is unable to move because he basically put her body in sleep paralysis, which I guess makes him her sleep paralysis demon. Regardless, he's able to procure a transponder pill bug, which I assume he's going to use as he's talking to the others. He's like, this is such an interesting communication system. I didn't even know that a transponder pill bug existed. It's quite a big boy. So this is what's going to let us broadcast across the entire Elbaf Island, right? Because the transponder snails won't work here, or at least not to the extent we need. And meanwhile, Sommers is like, yeah, that's what we're going to need. I will sort of walk you through the tech support part in a moment. I'm kind of waiting for this guy to fall over. I get it, man. You're a vice admiral, or you were. But, I've already defeated you, so please just die already. Really wasting my time. God, Sommers sucks. I don't like Sommers. I don't like him. I like his gags. I like his interactions with Gunko and Killingham, but that's just because I like Gunko and Killingham. A little tangent. Sommers is that one guy that you can't stand, but you're cool with him because you like the people he hangs out with, but you have no idea why they hang out with him. Like, I had a friend in college like that, where I was really good friends with him, but there was this one guy he always hung out with, and I just could not stand that guy. I grew used to him for the sake of my friend, but that's probably going to be my relationship with Sommers. But anyways, the giant that Sommers is fighting is in fact Saul, and it's not going well for him. Saul is standing above a field of briars, tons of thorns waiting to catch him as he's whispering to Robin and Chopper. He's like, you guys gotta just stay hiding in my beard. Hide in the back of my beard. Don't let them see you, because you guys gotta save the kids. Okay? Okay. And then he just falls over, slamming himself into the thorns, which I don't really know how much Saul loves the ground, so my guess based on this is the thorn fruit has a base damage that's like guaranteed to happen regardless of opinion. So there goes my opinion of Sanji not liking the kids and saving them because he can touch them just fine. It seems the thorns themselves have a base damage. Regardless, though, Saul has been defeated. Obviously, Saul's not dead because Oda... I'm okay with Oda pulling like, oh, he died, but it's okay, he's actually alive. I doubt Oda's going to hit us with the, oh, he died? That's so sad. Man, isn't it heartwarming and lovely that Robin got to see him again? What if Robin had to watch him die twice? Oda's not going to do that to us. But Oda is going to show us a very bloody to the pulp Saul. That's not great. Speaking of not great, turns out Somers is mad about something else. Why is there a school on Elbaf? How dare these lower people educate themselves? Don't they know that they were supposed to grow up into big, strong, terrifying warriors of Elbaf? The nation of mercenaries that we were promised by King Harold? Or did Harold lie to me? Did Harold screw up somehow? And the question now I have for you, the audience, what did Harold do? Obviously, we're going to get the full story from Loki, I hope, as we see one panel earlier in the chapter of a very fat Loki, much akin to Luffy. Being fat will only last a few panels, and he'll slim back down when it's time to fight. But for now, Loki is full. Loki is going to heal to an extent, and then Loki is going to tell us the story. So, look forward to that in the next few chapters. The only other thing I really have here is Loki's probably telling the truth for the first time in his life. Or maybe this trickster has always been telling the truth, and his dad's just been twisting it. Who knows? He might have even bullied Haruden just to keep him away from Dad. But whatever happens, we'll have to wait until the next chapter. So let me know in the comments below what you think the true story is, because I'm a little baffled myself. I don't know if Harold was a liar and Loki's telling the truth, and what was Harold's real plan? Is this a Mother Caramel scenario, or is this something even worse? Regardless, thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.